Last week's choice was Head to Canada. August was a good month to travel under, and in that time, friendships flourished, magnified by insurmountable odds. Route 86 was a parking lot by the time Jethro, Betsy, and Toad crossed into Idaho. Supplies were running short back then, and the survivors took to smashing in the windows on almost every vehicle they came across, looking for canned goods, bottled water, anything and everything. Jethro almost lost his fingers to a dead toddler in a minivan on Highway 4 in Montana. Betsy made her first kill with the edge of a shovel when exploring a farmhouse's fruit cellar. The creature howled through its half-severed head with the berserker rage of a grizzly. Betsy continued to smash at the old woman's body, but for all her efforts, the howling continued, motivated by some infernal vigor. Jethro started to suspect supernatural forces at work alongside the pseudoscience that went with the split atom and its relation to the undead. Together they burnt the farmhouse to the ground. The old woman's hate-filled scream continued even after her house crumbled into glowing embers. Toad spotted the shell of a sports authority near the world's largest penguin statue. They raided the store, suspiciously devoid of the dead. Equipped with wireframe packs, shotguns, and appropriate attire, they pushed further north. Heck, even old Toad was rigged with the base of a shopping cart to make his sojourn easier. A week later, they were traveling exclusively off-road, where they could. Aside from that freak sports authority, the dead were literally everywhere. The world really is a graveyard. More than once, Toad's ears perked up at the sound of motorcycles, heard either echoing out of the hills or out of the base of some valley. Fireside, Jethro pulled on one of his last cigarettes before speaking. Fucking people. Well, bikers. It's their fucking world now. Betsy smiled and responded, "The nomads run the show. It's history repeating." Jethro took a pirate-sized swig of his wild turkey, returning the cork to the top and placing it back inside of Toad. Betsy sensed the sadness in Jethro's eyes. She ventured a joke. Well, at least the insects still outnumbered the dead and the living. The old man smiled, stood, and pissed the fire out. Eventually, the wilderness grew tiresome on the band of travelers. It's funny, perhaps desperate, that the sight of a road, telephone pole, or a sign that read Alberta can bring some sense of belonging. Jethro knew it was time to make up for supplies just before stumbling into an open field filled with crucifixion crosses. These weren't the sort of crosses you'd expect to see in a church. They were more like giant X's, with two beams sledged into the ground. There were at least 50 of them. Betsy's shock gave way with words. They looked like something out of Roman times. Blackbirds filled the sky, leapfrogging from one body to the next, celebrating their macabre feast. Toad didn't like the spell, stating, "Those weren't zombies. Those were people." Betsy struggled. "How can he tell?" Our man offered, "The dead don't bleed. Those pylons are covered in fresh blood." Jethro paused. "Still, why haven't these people turned into the living dead?" Betsy lowered her shotgun and checked its ammunition. To the northwest was the edge of a high fence topped with concertina wire. "We're short on water," proclaimed Betsy. "Choices. Welcome to Canada." A. Get closer to the crosses and inspect the bodies. B. Pause. Did Betsy just hear Toad talk? Jethro can't just let that pass. C. Avoid the crucifixion field and head for the fence. There must be water, even if it's rainwater in a barrel. D. Get the fuck out of here now. Continue north and risk it without resupplying.